Hello and welcome back to this week's Alteryx Weekly Challenge. This time we're attempting challenge number 14. So this is where a retail chain has 25 stores carrying items, but not everybody carries the same items. Carries, that must be an American term. They stock the same item, and each has its own level of prioritization. So within the chain, so I'm guessing so each store has its own, what some stores are more important than others, right? So they require the stock when it's available more than, say, another one does, I'm guessing. And there is a central warehouse that contains all the available stock. So the goal is to distribute the items from the warehouse to each of the stores, filling the available stock at each store in order of the store's priority. So let's have a look, shall we? What have we got here? So we've got three input files. This one has the store, a priority, city and the state, and then a location, longitude, latitude. Then we have what looks like the requirement from each of the stores by each item listed here. You can see this first one, store A, is missing, doesn't require any of item number 9, whatever 9 is. And then here we have the warehouse and how many of each item it's got. Okay, what we're trying to achieve, by the looks of it, is here's the store, here's the item. So they don't want any number 9, the amount they required. So that should be a straightforward join between the first two data sets, because we've got that's just that's all the information there. We can just join it on the store and the item. Then we can have a look at the warehouse and see how many they have available. So for example, Houston's got priority number 26, so I guess it's the lowest priority. It's fine until you get to item number 6, where I'm guessing that there are none left. And item number 7, where there are only 13 left to allocate to this store, because it's the lowest priority. It said 25 on the thing, 25 stores, it's got 26 here. And if we go through, okay, it's A to Z. Okay, all right. So we'll work out that as we go. Okay, so let's start off with join. So let's bring the joins, bring these two together, because as I said before, we've got to bring these two fields in. So we don't need this one again, we've already got it up here. We want to join on the store, and we want to join on the store to bring in the item. Is that right? Yeah. So we've got 26 stores. So we just want, so what that'll do is bring them. We just want to join on the store. We don't need this, by the looks of it. This long lat doesn't exist on the. I can't see anything that would require us to understand. There's nothing here about the location or where we would, any kind of distance calculation or anything about that would, be an indicator of using the longitude, latitude, or location. So let's just lose those. So these are bytes. We'll just make them integers, so that because they're not going to be points or anything like that, so we'll make them integers and see how we go for that. And then run. Okay, so we now have, so if we just have a look at this, see that matches. Why does that not match? Oh yeah, sorry. This is from the next bit. So for the items that are required, then come in, and then we're good to go. Okay, so So then we need to look at the warehouse and assigning it. Now, what we have here is a total of each item, and here we have to work out the priority and the item. So I think if we just resort this, and we want to sort it by the item first and then by this priority, what that will do, we just do that. So we now have the item here and then the priority of that item. So the Eastern one's now the bottom of this first item. So let's and therefore what we need to do is create a running total so we know how many of these we have. So let's have a look at the running total. So we want to group by item because we want a running total of each item, and then we want to create it from the required because that's the number that we want to add up. So if we run that, and then we therefore now have a running total. So for item 1 we're after 751. Now if we look in here, item 1 has got 824, so we should be able to allocate all of that, but we had some zeros on 6. So if we just have a look at 6, item 6, and towards the bottom, here we go. So we have 708 is the total required for that particular item, and in here, item 6, we've only got 635. Okay, so we're going to be short some. Okay, so therefore we need to join in that information. If we join in that information, again we don't need the item, we just need the count, and that should give us the always helps if you actually, so it's by item that we actually want to join. So that'll give us the count, which is the total for each one. So what we now have is a running total and a count. So okay, so we go to 6 at the bottom. We'll see here we go, we start getting, so from this point onwards we've got less actually in the store than we have in here. So I think we can just do some simple maths. What we want to do is that minus that, okay, and then we want to check if that is higher or if it's greater than this. If it's lower than this, then so let's just do that quick calculation. And we'll call it available, and then we do that as an integer, and it's simply the count minus the the running total. Okay. Okay, so now we've got how many. So we now have this, and if we go down to 6, we should have some minus numbers here. Yeah, so we've got some minus numbers. Basically, this is telling us that how many we can assign. So if we just go to 6, go down to which one was it? So it was this one. We have, so if we look at Houston and look at item 7, we can see there's 13. That's there's something we can work on here. So we go to item 7, go to the bottom to Houston. Oh, it's from one from above, because that's what's left. So, oh yes, there's 0. Yeah, 13, is that right? So 13. So, right, so it's, if we go to 7 again, keep switching whenever you switch between it, which is not helpful. Oh, it's that minus that would give us the 13. Okay, because that's what's left after you've applied the required. Yep, so it's that plus that gives you that minus that. Okay, so we can therefore simply write an if statement. Now what's the number? Is assigned, so we can start writing our assigned column. Assigned, and it is simply if so if we want to say if, let me just bring in this, we got there. So if required is less than available, then required, else the available. Yeah, so if required is less than the available, then required, else available. So that will give us the lowest of the two, and we'll make that a integer as well. That's given us 11 for the first one. Let's just run that. Okay, so if we go to which one, item 7 or 6 we were looking at, you can see here we now have lancing 2, and then is that the way we want to do it? No, that's not right. Go to 7. Yeah, so we've only got 13 here. That's right. Oh no, we wanted 13 there. So if assigned is, so no, we want to put the total amount available is actually that plus that. That's just what's left afterwards. So we need another formula in here. So let's put that in there. We'll put add. So change available to be. Let me just bring this in so we can see what we're doing. It's available plus required. Okay, right, and then let's run that. Does that work? So we changed it, yes. So therefore we now have for product 7 and Houston that we were looking at, 7 Houston, we now have 13, which is the number we want up here. I can find it. So Houston, yep, 7, 13. Okay. Now the problem is we have also, so let's just take product 6. We're going to have minus numbers here. So for Houston, we've got a minus number. So what we need is another formula which says if it's less than 0 then minus. So assigned, so if statement, then if assigned is less than 0, then 0 else assigned. Okay, so that should then give us the result, I think. So yeah, now we just need to, so that's 13 and 6 is 0. Okay, right, perfect. So now we just need to resort it back into this particular order, which happens to be store by the looks of it, and then item. Yeah, so in the, we can sort by store and then item. We can also, let's display in there, get rid of the fields we don't need. So available we don't need, count we don't need, run total we don't need. All the rest are the original fields. So if we run that, okay, so we now have the same as on here. Let's just check. Yep, it's given us the same on both sides. So there you go. Thank you very much for watching, and see you again next time.